Don't look, Grigfer warned. It will know. Grigfer was hidden high among the trees. He was a Jukla of the hunter caste. His mottled green skin blended with the leaves, rendering him all but invisible. His 6 limbs were gnarled with muscle and scar tissue, the mark of 1,000 hunts. 2 of his claws and several of his sharp teeth were missing, but their loss did not lessen his danger. Grigfer was the oldest and best hunter in the Hidden Lands. How can it know anything? Janza argued. Janza was not of Grigfer's tribe. He belonged to the Zinzo, the largest and most powerful group in the Hidden Lands. Janza was a powerful warrior. Unfortunately, he was also an idiot. We are downwind, and the creature is nearly 3,000 lagas away. It will know, Grigfer hissed. Stop looking. The creature in question was... Grigfer didn't know what it was. It had climbed out of a big shiny rock that had fallen from the sky. The creature wasn't much bigger than Grigfer, but it was horribly misshapen. It had only 4 limbs. It stood on 2 of them. Its head was small and round and topped with fur. It had only 2 eyes. Its skin was pale and all of one colour. It wore false furs over much of it. Janza shifted all 4 of his eyes to Grigfer. Is that fear I hear in your voice, Grigfer? His 6 nostrils flared. Is that fear I smell? Of course it is, Grigfer spat. Now be quiet and be still. If it finds us, we will die. Janza snorted. The legendary Grigfer. Afraid? Perhaps the tales of you are exaggerated, eldest hunter. For a brief mad moment, Grigfer considered ripping Janza's throat out. The other warrior was nearly twice his size, but the old hunter was confident he could kill the fool before Janza could react. It would mean his death, of course. Janza's death throes would bring the monster down on his head. Even if Grigfer escaped the creature's notice, the other Zinzo would kill him for murdering their favoured warrior. In the end, sanity prevailed. Grigfer had not survived as long as he had by giving in to foolish impulses. I fear no hunter, he said softly. No warrior, no beast. I have hunted and killed things alone that entire tribes were fearful to face. But that thing... It doesn't look that frightening to me, Janza replied. Look at it, eldest hunter. Look how small its jaws are. That thing is not a warrior or a beast, Grigfer continued, as if the fool hadn't spoken. It is a nightmare, a terror from the sky. My tribe's warriors thought as you do, thought it helpless. I knew better. I warned them, but they refused to hear. The creature in question froze. Panic shot down Grigfer's limbs. Janza opened his stupid mouth again, but 2 of Grigfer's limbs slammed it shut. Silence, the hunter hissed. Don't look. Be quiet and be still. Miracle of miracles, the idiot Janza did as he was told. He averted his gaze and kept perfectly still. Grigfer didn't know if he'd recognized the urgency of Grigfer's voice, or if some deep survival instinct had warned the warrior. Grigfer didn't care. All that mattered was that the monster didn't find them. There was silence for several seconds. Then Grigfer heard the faint whisper of a lower limb brushing against grass. He risked a glance. The monster had resumed its steady, careful walk. Even better, it was moving away from the hunter's hiding spot. Grigfer waited another minute, letting the creature increase the distance. Then he slowly and quietly released his hold on Janza's jaws. What was that? Janza demanded. His belligerent tone was much more subdued this time, and he kept his voice down. What just happened? I warned you, Grigfer whispered back. They can feel when they are watched. I don't know how, but they can. Grigfer looked Janza over. The warrior caste was not as suited to hiding as the hunters. Janza was twice Grigfer's size. His skin was red with black stripes. His limbs were thick. His jaws were heavy and filled with sharp teeth. He was, fortunately, well concealed behind the thick foliage of the tree they were hiding in. Grigfer was certain no Jukla could spot him. He was not certain about the creature. It still doesn't look that dangerous, Janza muttered. It doesn't even have claws. The terror from the sky doesn't need claws, Grigfer told him. It's slow, Janza pointed out. It's not even in the trees. It moves on the ground like a hex soccer. That is because it is hunting Hexoka. Grigfor tried to keep the disdain out of his voice. Janza was stupid, even for a warrior, but he ranked high among the Zinzo tribe. Antagonizing him would not help the hunter's cause. They can move in the trees when they wish. I've seen it. What kind of idiot hunts Hexoka on the ground? Janza wondered. They're too fast and too wary. An ambush from above is the only way to take one. Is it? Grigfor flickered a disdainful ear at the fool. Just watch. Janza muttered something too low to make out. His eyes settled on the monster. Not the creature, Grigfor chided. Why were warriors always so dumb? He pointed to a small meadow. Watch the Hexoka. The meadow wasn't large. It was a treeless patch of grass that scanned 50 lagas across. A small herd of Hexoka grazed watchfully in the meadow. Hexoka were grass-eaters. They were slightly smaller than Grigfor. The animals were furry, with long ears and small sharp horns. They had 6 legs, but their appendages ended in sharp hooves. They could not move among the trees. Hexoka made up for this lack with alertness, paranoia, and astounding speed. Even Grigfor failed to catch them more often than not. The terror from the sky approached the meadow slowly. The creature came from downwind. It was not as silent as a hunter, but it was close. Not that it helped. The Hexoka already knew something was coming. Sets of ears perked up and swiveled in the monster's direction. How could that thing even kill a Hexoka? Janza demanded. It has the teeth of a grass-eater. It does, Grigfor agreed. He almost pointed at the monster, but a spike of panic brought him to his senses. Do you see what it is carrying? Janza peered at the monster. Sticks? Pointy sticks, Grigfor corrected. The monster had a number of tree pieces with it. One of them was longer than the creature was tall. A sharp stone was attached at one end. Another stick was shorter, curved, with a thin line made of sinew connecting 2 ends. Another 15 or so smaller sticks were sticking out of a container, hanging off the monster's midsection. They're still just sticks. Janza sounded dubious. What good can a stick do? Just watch the Hexoka, Grigfor told him. Grigfor followed his own advice. He saw when the entire herd froze. The terror from the sky was standing below the trees, roughly 30 lagas from the meadow. If it took one more step, the herd would bolt. The monster didn't take that step. Instead, it pulled out one of the smaller pointy sticks. Grigfor looked away before the creature could notice him watching again. A moment later, he saw the small stick arcing down. The stick was moving fast, faster than a Hexoka could run. It struck one of the animals in the side. The stick plunged deep into the beast, piercing one of its hearts. The Hexoka didn't even have time to squeal. It simply fell. What in the name of the shades? Janza swore. Pointy sticks, Grigfor sagely explained. The rest of the herd bolted. The monster ignored them. It walked into the meadow. There it stopped. Look away, Grigfor hissed quietly. He averted his gaze. After a few seconds, it glanced back at the creature. The monster was staring right at it. Grigfor almost bolted then and there. The hunter froze. He knew he should look away again, but he couldn't make himself do it. He sees us, Janza whispered. Don't move, Grigfor whispered softly. Don't even breathe. The 2 Jukla waited. Grigfor stayed as still as he'd ever been. His fear screamed at him to run, to swing through the trees and escape. He didn't dare. To run was to die. The monster watched for several moments. Then it turned and finished walking to its prey. The terror from the sky pulled the pointy stick out of the Hexoka, then hoisted the beast onto its shoulders. It started back the way it came. Grigfor let out the breath he'd been holding. Shades, that was close. It wasn't that close, Janza whispered back. The warrior sounded like he was trying to convince himself more than arguing with Grigfor. The creature was on the ground and far away. We could easily escape. No, Grigfor said grimly. No Jukla has survived the creature's attention. We can outrun them for a time, but they never stop. The terrors don't tire, and they don't slow down. Nothing we've tried can throw them off your scent. The thing would chase us until we got tired. It would kill us as it killed the Hexoka. They can't be fought, and there is no escape. He eased himself out of his hiding spot, slowly moving to the next tree. We should go. Now. Carefully. We aren't going to follow it? Janza seemed surprised. We don't dare, Grigfor told him. It already knows it's being watched. It might already know where we are. Surely not. Janza didn't sound sure of himself. If it's as dangerous as you say, it would have attacked already. Maybe, maybe not. Grigfor continued moving away. Janza grudgingly followed. It knows something's out here, but it might not know what. Or it might not care. I have studied the terrors for weeks, and very little of what they do makes sense. Their goals are beyond our understanding. You keep saying there as if there are many of them, Janza noted. His nostrils flared. Just how many of these things are there? 37, Grigfor told him. 6 of them are younglings. An average tribe, then, Janza mused. There will be no match for the Zinzo. My tribe thought the same, Grigfor reminded him. I warned them that the terrors were dangerous, that they should be left alone. His ears flattened in regret. My words were not heeded. Why not? Asked Janza. Are you not the eldest hunter? I would have thought your words carried great weight. They should have. The hunter clacked his jaws in remembered anger. I told the largest what I'd seen, but my observations sounded unbelievable. Pointy sticks, deformed monsters controlling fire, giant flaming rocks falling from the sky. He glanced back in the direction the monster had gone. The creature was finally out of sight. Grigfor picked up the pace. The other elders said I have the aging sickness. They thought I lost my wits. Even when I showed some of them, they refused to believe as much as they should. The Napfa tribe attacked without you, Janza guessed. That's why you're still alive. It's worse than that, Grigfor told him. The largest elder sent our entire fighting force to kill the terrors. 42 warriors and 19 hunters. My task was to observe and lend assistance if needed. He shuddered at the memory. I had warned the elders, but even I didn't understand just how deadly the creatures were. I could see that going badly, Janza admitted, if they can all kill from 100 luggers away. That's not even the worst of it, Grigfor told the warrior. The one I showed you? It was just a hunter. Their warriors are much worse. Worse than that? Janza sounded dubious. It killed in an instant from far away. All the monsters have pointy sticks, Grigfor explained. The warriors have something else. Loud sticks. Loud sticks? Janza sounded more dubious. That sounds stupid. I don't know what else to call them, Grigfor admitted. The sticks were loud. So loud, like thunderclaps. The warriors pointed them at our tribesmen, and our tribesmen fell over dead. The entire battle was over in 2 minutes. Our warriors only managed to kill 1 hunter and 1 youngling before they fell. But they did kill some of them, said Janza. That's good. It's good they can die. It's not good at all, the eldest hunter disagreed. If we hadn't killed any of them, they might have left us be. He stopped. Janza stopped behind them. Below them came a rustling sound. A thunder beast rumbled into view. It was a big one, even bigger than Janza. 8 sturdy legs tipped with massive claws. A thick brown shell lined with bone spikes. Thunder beasts were one of the few creatures that could kill and eat a jukfa. Fortunately, this one hadn't noticed them. It ambled along, snuffling below the trees. Grigfor waited until the beast was gone before he spoke again. Less than an hour after my hunters returned to the village, the terrors came. They slaughtered everyone. Even the largest elder was helpless against the monsters. Then they conjured fire. They set fire to everything. Burned our homes and the trees that held them. Conjured fire? Janza scoffed. No one can do such a thing. The terrors can, Grigfor assured him. I know how insane this sounds, Janza. It is why I was not believed. But it's all true. I swear it on the shades of my ancestors. Grigfor shuddered again and continued. Some few of us escaped, but not for long. The terrors hunted us all down over the next few days. Warriors, hunters, even gatherers and younglings were not spared. Only I survived, and only because I fled before they saw me. You ran? Janza was so shocked he stopped moving. You ran and left your tribe to die? There was no one left to save at that point, Grigfor told him. His voice was bitter. You don't try to stop a falling tree, Janza. You get out of its way. It was too late to save my village. The best I could do was warn the other tribes. I would have stayed and fought, Janza said accusingly. Then you would be dead, Grigfa shot back, and your tribe would know nothing of the terrors from the sky. And what would you have the Zinzo do with that knowledge? Janza demanded. You say these creatures killed your entire tribe? Would you have us take revenge for you? Shays no, Grigfa snorted. I would have you warn the others. The territory that once belonged to the Napfa tribe must be avoided at all costs. Avoided? Janza wriggled his ears in confusion. If what you say is true, these creatures killed an entire tribe. What cowardly fool would let such a threat fester? The cowardly fool that wants to live, Grigfa said simply. We have two choices, Janza. Either we gather every Jukla in the Hidden Lands to fight the terrors all at once, or we stay as far from those monsters as we can. Anything else is death. You want all the tribes to band together? Janza scoffed. Even the Zinzo couldn't accomplish such a thing. I know. Grigfa let out a grim howl. Honestly, Janza, I don't think we could kill the terrors even with all 9 remaining tribes. What I've shared with you so far barely scratches the surface of the strange and terrible things these creatures can do. I think we should leave them alone.